Hey guys, Cliff Ravenscraft here at Podcast Answer Man, and I am playing around in my studio. It is a complete mess right now, but it has everything to do with some new hardware that I've purchased for some video production. Not only am I doing a lot of Facebook live streams, webinars, weekly group coaching calls, but also, most importantly, I create video tutorials for my students. And I'm about ready to take my video tutorials to a whole new level. And of course, you guys know that there's tons of software that's available for computers that allow you to do video switching, multi-camera angles, all of that good stuff. But I've never been a fan of relying on software to do pretty much anything. And so that's why I have decided to purchase a couple different items, and I'm going to show those to you. But first of all, you got to promise not to judge me. My office slash studio, it is a disaster right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a different camera angle just to show you what I can do now. And so, yeah, let's just first switch over to this camera angle right over here. So, hello, everybody. Now I'm looking at you through the Canon HFG20 camera. This camera here, by the way, let's see if I can go back up here. That I'm looking at you now through the Canon HFG40. And again, I'll switch over here. Now I'm looking at you through the Canon HFG20. It's my oldest camera. And with this camera, I'm going to do something. I'm going to have to switch some things around here so you guys don't get sick and everything like that. So I'm going to go back over to this camera view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this camera and I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to show you. I should have enough stuff here. You know what I can do even? Check this out. I'll go up here and zoom out a bit. And check this out. This is the Canon. This is my oldest Canon camera that I had for HD prosumer use. But this one has been gathering dust. Well, not necessarily gathering dust, but it's been sitting in a box unusable because this thing did not record into a video format that I liked. But now that I'm just going to use this for the HDMI output off to the side here, I'm able to do some pretty amazing things with this. But the cool thing is not only can I use this as a secondary camera, and again, guys, I got to tell you, I'm not kidding you when I say my studio is a mess. Let me zoom back in here. But, oh, not that much. I think, where do I usually have that? Right about, yeah, right there's good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Let's see if I can do a smooth transition. Now, this is going to be a little shaky, but let me see if I can zoom out. Yep. That's my old video studio, which by the way, I have another Canon camera up there. This one right here, that is the Canon HFG30 camera. So I used to have this G20 that I'm using right now to show you everything. And the problem that I had with the G20, HFG, no, it's not a G20, it's a G10. I'm so sorry. The old G10, the problem was is that it recorded into HVACD or something. I can't remember the name of it. Actually, it's right here. AVCHD format. That camera right there, the G30, allowed me to record into SD cards and it would record straight into H.264. And so I had my friend Tim Schmoyer, videocreators.com, come over and we set up this entire video studio. In fact, you can see a little bit more of an angle if I stretch over. You can see all the sound panels up on the walls and then the ceiling and everything. And of course, I thought that I would do a lot of stand-up video shots in that studio space there. There was two problems with it. Number one, I never used it. Um, but the big thing is I'm not a fan of standing up and talking and stuff like that. I like sitting down here in my studio where I've been recording all these podcasts all these years. But not only that, but see this space right here? That I don't know if you can tell by camera angle. That's a huge space. Well, relatively to what you would normally think in your home office, but that's a big space. And the idea was that this space was built not for a video studio, but that is for in studio, next level studio workshops where I would have live events. And so all of that stuff, the reason why I bought the camera that's right here by the way, that is, of course, the audio lighting's a little off there because there's a big light about it. That camera right there is the Canon HFG 40, and I purchased that camera to be used here in this studio right here. Watch this. I think I can switch back over. Oh, nope, wrong camera. There we go. I bought this Canon HFG 40 because I wanted another camera that I could use right here in this studio space, right where you see me sitting. This is where I'm shooting all of my live video. This is where I'm doing Facebook live streaming from if I'm not out mobile with my iPhone. But this is where I do my weekly group coaching calls. I'm not doing it from over there. There was some other reasons. It was difficult to get video into Facebook Live without special equipment, and I'm not going to go into all of that. But the thing is, why do I have this camera? It's because, let's see here. I am going to go, let me just do a hard switch over to camera 3. But this camera, of course, is what allowed me to go to H.264. But as you can see, that is actually set up on this tripod. The idea is that the focus is just perfect for exactly where I would stand. And Tim Schmoyer came in and put it in manual, and he did white balance on it. He did all these manual settings inside the menus. His professional quality videographer self came over, and I did not want to take that camera and move it over here to my studio space. And I'm still getting used to buttons. That's why, and I haven't showed, well, I've actually I think I've accidentally showed you what I want to show you next a couple different times. But I'm playing around here, trying to remember the buttons. Eventually, this is going to be muscle memory that I have set up. But so I wanted another camera that would allow me to record directly into H.264. And then I saw all my friends playing around with multiple camera angles. And, I've been able to I've been working on I've been working on video tutorials for a very long time where I could, I would use ScreenFlow, and ScreenFlow would record my screen no problem at all. But now I want to get to the place where I can mix in video of me and ScreenFlow. And of course, I could do that with ScreenFlow, but I'm very limited. It's not going to be full screen HD quality like this and then go to my screen. So here's what I'm able to do now. If I want to, I can start off and I could say, hey everybody, welcome to my brand new tutorial where I'm going to show you how to visit my website at podcastanswerman.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at the desktop now. All right, so here you can see I'm on my desktop. I know this is crazy, but I'm going to bring over a web browser and we'll just pull that right on up here. And if you go over to podcastanswerman.com, you will be taken to my website. How amazing is that? All right. And of course, you can see the brand new Listen on Apple podcast badge. If you haven't heard about that, that will be actually talked about in episode 498, which when I'm recording this is not out, but it comes out on Friday, April 27th, 2017. So if you want your own Listen on Apple Podcasts badge, the official Apple Podcasts branding, then listen to episode 498. You'll get all the details there. So yeah, and by the way, I can just switch back to my camera now. And again, if I wanted to show you what I'm doing to make all of this happen, you're even going to see a bigger mess. And so to do that, I'm going to switch over to camera number 3 now. Actually, let me go back to camera 1. So that camera, here's the deal. So camera 1, this camera was camera 1 the whole time, and then I switched it to where, since HDMI, my screen is on the left, I made it 1, made this camera 2, and so mind mapping where these buttons are, it's still not there for me. But let's go ahead, and this is camera 3. I'm not going to make you shaky watch it while I get in the place I want to be here, but I am going to zoom out, make sure I have a good angle, and yeah, and so now I feel like you know what, let me get this tripod just right. Okay, So now I am going to switch over to camera 3 next, and we'll do a fade. There we go. Okay, so this is right here, the Roland, what is it called? V-1 HD. This beautiful thing is what's allowing me to do all of this camera switching and all this fancy stuff, and I absolutely love it. There's only one thing that I'm not crazy about. I did not know it ahead of time. This little area right here is a vent for air, and it's got a loud fan. But the good news is that because I use a dynamic microphone, let me check this out. If we'll go just back up here, because I use this dynamic microphone right here, um, it rejects a lot of that noise and stuff like that, so you don't hear it. And not only that, but I'm just working on figuring out how this thing works. And there is an iPad app that allows me to control everything that this thing controls. And so I'm going to get it all figured out, and then I'm going to set it. Well, actually, watch this. Let's see here. So I can come back to this thing. I'm going to set it up in the corner back there, and I'm just going to let it do all the switching for me. And once I have it in the corner, it's going to be even further away, and you wouldn't hear that fan at all. If I mean, right now you're probably not even hearing it. You probably wouldn't have noticed there's a fan on that device if I didn't tell you at this point. But anyway, so let's take a look and see what else is here. So yeah, this is the Roland V-1 HD. And if I, of course, press this button, actually, you know what I could do? The red means this is active. This is bus 2. So this is HDMI 1, 2, 3, and 4 inputs. This is the same thing. But right now, I'm actually on the second, or the B bus is what we call this. All right. And the green means that's what's active to go next on the next bus. So if I actually want to go to the HDMI, what's going to happen is if I go up just a little bit, you'll see that the screen, from my computer screen, is coming in, and the more I press that up, the more it's going to take it all the way to the computer screen. Now I can slowly slide that back down, and there I am again. All right. Now, if I want to, I could just press this button, and it'll slowly do it for me. And I don't actually have to use this slider if I don't want to. And then, of course, if I want to do the other camera angle, this is, I'm going to have to, you know what, I'm going to have to switch it back to where this is camera 1, this is camera 2, and this is desktop, I think is what I'm going to do. But anyway, you can see that I can now bring me right up here, and then I'm back down to here. So this is what's allowing me to do all the camera switching. It also has audio input that I have coming off of my mixer, which allows me to now bring in not only that, but I can come over here and check this out. So I have an iPad right here, and if I just zoom in right there, I'll check that out. So I can just click, and I'll play the Podcast Answer Man bumper for you. Podcast Answer Man. Or I can say, and now, here's that interview. That's right. And then, of course, I can go down in here, I think, to others, and we've got some testimonials there. Here's some endorsements. So my friend Ray Edwards has to say,
hello, everyone. This is Ray Edwards from RayEdwardsPodcast.com, and you're listening to the world's #1 authority on how to podcast, Cliff Ravenscraft. He is the Podcast Answer Man.
All right. So as you can see, now, of course, I didn't have to do that way. If I wanted to, I could set this up to where, oh, goodness, my desk is a mess. All right, so I could go down, and I could actually get a better angle on this, and I could go in here and bring this way. Of course, I could set all of this up ahead of time if I was going to do, let's just say I was doing a tutorial on my proven podcast workflow, and now that I have that, I can actually come back, let's see here, go back down to here, and so here is my bumpers. And I can even play another bumper for you.
Hello, everyone. This is Michael Hyatt from michaelhyatt.com. You're listening to the man who has trained more people to podcast than anyone else on the planet. My friend Cliff Ravenscraft, he is the podcast answer man.
And of course, I've got some other folks on here. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Hey, everybody, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and you're listening to the podcast Answer Man.
But anyway, yeah, so I can play around. I can actually show these things, and it's not like I have to record all this stuff in multiple angles. I could come back and show you real quickly where you can go for the Roland and all that other stuff on the desktop. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't know what I want to do next. But the interesting thing is I'm going to actually go back to handheld mode. I don't know how much I'll actually use handheld mode when doing recording things, although who knows, it's not terrible here. So let me go back and bring this down here. So again, we've been talking about this right here. This is the Roland V-1 Hd Remote. Allows me to bring audio, and by the way, just by default, my audio was way out of, actually let me get back up here and talk to you guys. My audio was way out of sync because the audio from the mixer was way out of sync with my voice, or with my lips moving from everything that's going out into the recorder, into the Facebook live stream and all that other stuff. So this thing has an audio delay. Now I think I can actually show you this. So I'll pull this audio up here, and of course you're going to see a little bit of me in that thing. But I was able to go in and change the audio delay, played with the settings until I found one that works just right. This is an audio delay of 158.3 milliseconds, and after a lot of testing, I found that is exactly what I needed. So I'm going to just turn that off now. And actually, I'm going to go back to, we'll go back to me. Actually, I'm still on me. Oh, did I actually show you that? I don't even know if I showed you. Crazy me. That's what I was expecting that. All right. So here, I told you were seeing it, but you weren't. But right there, there you go. You can see that I was able to go into the settings on the Roland V-1 HD, and right there's the settings. I could go up and down all over the place. I'm not going to mess with it now. I got my lip syncs just right. So we're good. All right. So we are good. And yeah, that solves, the Roland is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. This is a lot to set up. I imagine people will want me one day to do tutorials on how to set all of this up. I don't know that I'm going to get around to creating one of those, because I teach people how to audio podcast, not to do video production. But who knows, maybe one day, I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to show you what else I've got going on here. So obviously I have this camera. This is camera, I'm going to say this is camera 2. I'm looking at camera 1. Both of those are going into the video switcher. Obviously I have the computer screen from my Mac, a secondary computer screen going in here as well. And all of that's being switched. And then let me show you something next. The next thing I want to show you is this data video HDR1. This is an H.264 USB recorder. So this is just like like a digital video recorder, and just like I use digital audio recorders hardware for recording my audio, this is that little device right here. This is recording my video right now. It's recording it in 1080p. And it's got it's basically an HDMI recorder. So it goes HDMI into this, and whatever comes in on the HDMI, both audio and video, gets recorded into this device as directly as an MP4 format or file, an H.264 encoding. So that means I can immediately just hit stop as soon as I'm done here, and it will instantly be ready to upload to YouTube. So I just have all the video and audio coming, or it's just an HDMI cable out of here into here. Now that actually has a pass-through HDMI. So I put an HDMI cable input that records everything coming out of this, And then there's a cable that comes out, there's an output of the recorder, and it goes into the Black Magic web presenter right there. And that Black Magic web presenter is what allows me to just via USB cable plug into my computer, and it allows me to, and of course you'll probably get that crazy effect again, it allows me to go into the Ecamm Live software right here, which allows me to just click one button and go live on Facebook. Ah, there's so much. Guys, I know there's software that does this stuff. There's all this other stuff, but man, I am happy that I have the setup that I have now. Right now, cables everywhere, just trying to figure out how this thing works. By the way, there's other things that I don't know, I haven't played around with yet to tell you how they work, so I definitely don't want to do that. I think I just did. Let's see what else. There's B. Do I have a B effect? Yeah, I'm not going to play around with it there because I haven't figured it all. Well, I have been playing around. I know what most of it does so far, but the interesting thing is that there's so much more to learn. I've only had it for just over an hour, and I figured out how to do what I've just showed you, and I think it's just the beginning. I'm going. By the way, I'm going to be able to do 100% custom video, like lower thirds live into this hardware recorder, into this device. And the cool thing is, I'm going to show you also. I'll obviously, because I can share my screen, I can share anything, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Dropbox real quick, and I am going to pull up a presentation. And let's go to archived presentations. Where was the presentation I was just working on the other day? But we'll just go to Social Media Marketing World 17. Oh, there it is, updated. That's the one. And then a new version of Keynote is available. So check this out. I can start things off by saying, hey guys, Cliff Ravenscraft here. Welcome. I'm going to talk about some things, and we're just going to jump right into my computer presentation here. What is so exciting about podcasting anyway? And of course, the one thing I can tell you is that it offers you a smaller haystack. Now let's talk about this smaller haystack, right? And of course, you still have the smaller haystack back there. It's kind of nice, right? But if I want to, I can say, okay, let's also talk about the fact that there's over 400 million active English language blogs. So right now, you guys are seeing that, but now I can come back and talk to you about that. And if I wanted to, yeah, gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Anyway, I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel. I will put links to all of the equipment in the description of the video on YouTube. If you're watching this, please know that all the links are going to be affiliate links. So just a disclosure there. If you do decide to purchase anything, I will earn a commission. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you. Obviously, this is just the beginning. I'm so excited. Gotta go. Until next time, I encourage you to take everything you do to the next level.